What's up, everybody? Billy Jitsu coming at you with another piece of content. For those that don't know the series, I mess around with DeFi protocols. I drop my own money in and I create a little bit of tooling to make my DeFi life a little bit better or easier. And then I share it with the world, right? This one's a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more of an explainer. For those that don't know, I'm a contributor to API 3, and I get this question asked a lot, right? How does OEV actually beat MEV or supersede it, right? For those that don't know what MEV is, it's basically reordering your transactions to benefit whoever gets to go first, right? And we're starting to see that trend on layer 2s. You're seeing Arbitrum's time boost, which is kind of like the express lane for your transactions. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see more of that trend happening more and more, right? So how does OEV actually beat this? You have to understand how oracles work, how liquidations work. So I made an animation video for you to understand, and hopefully you can visualize it. Anyways, let's get started. Before we begin, let's take a step back on how liquidations work on lending protocols. An oracle value for ETH is sitting on chain on the latest updated transaction. For simplicity, let's say ETH is valued at $2,000. Currently, someone's debt is in a healthy position. Upon meeting a price update threshold, let's say at 1% deviation, the price would be updated on chain at 2020 or 1980, depending on the market, because 1% of $2,000 is $20. It will send a transaction to update the oracle value to the most recent updated price. Once the oracle updates on chain, the health factor changes. The position goes from a healthy position to an unhealthy one. Once that occurs, searchers are able to perform a liquidation on that position. Searchers will have those oracle values already pre-calculated, so they know if a value of a certain asset hits a certain price, there's an opportunity for them. Then the competition for block space begins. On mainnet, searchers can bribe their validators to put their transactions first, giving a portion of the profits to the validator to make sure they get their liquidation. On most layer 2s, because you can't bribe a sequencer, you'll see many spam transactions from multiple searchers around the time the oracle will be updated. It's a game of chance. Whoever gets the transaction to go through first is the winner. The user gets liquidated, the searcher gets the profit, minus whatever they paid to bribe or the cost to spam the transaction. The key factor here is the first thing that has to happen is the oracle update. Without the oracle updating, none of this can happen. It happens sequentially and it does not go out of order. If you had the power to update the oracle yourself while also performing the liquidation, you then bypass the blockspace battle. If you have the ability to update the oracle and perform the liquidation atomically, you will win the race every single time. So therefore, with OEV, Oracle Extractable Value, it doesn't matter where your transaction position is on the block, as long as your transaction goes through, you will always win. This is a huge advantage for the searcher, especially on a layer 2. The question is, how much is the advantage worth to the searcher? In order to win the right to update the oracle, the searcher must bid for the rights on the OEV network using a simple script. The bid values would be in the range of what searchers would bribe a validator to execute their transaction first while still generating profit. The unique feature about the OEV system is where the money flows. Previously, all bribes would go to the validator. Now, when a searcher bids for the rights to update the oracle to the current value, the majority of that bid goes back to the lending dApp that is using the API 3 oracle. Without OEV, the dApp would just be losing out on the value they have deposited because they have to pay out rewards for the liquidations, dropping TVL and possible revenue with every liquidation that occurs. Come discover how API 3 oracles work. No refactors of code required, no allow lists, no wrappers, and if no one bids, the oracle just updates on its usual deviations. By using API 3 oracles, you unlock the ability to have OEV liquidations that pay you, as well as normal liquidations you are used to, by just switching your oracle over to API 3.